More builders will collapse. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein or cup of coffee, because we're going to look at an article which is highlighting the rising costs in construction and how more builders are going to collapse. It seems to be an event that's happening nearly every other day. Either a builder or a supplier is on the brink, in liquidation, or has gone under and bankrupt. Now, this is going to continue, and it's going to be something we have to be aware of. Frankly, this really is a construction apocalypse, everyone. And we've got to remember, I know I'm going to be a broken record to the regulars of the channel here, but we've got to remember a lot of this is because of government intervention in the market, government coming to the rescue, government keeping zombie companies alive, government using home builder, juicing the market, artificially bringing projects forward, artificially overheating the construction sector. And you combine that with labor supply issues, with export costs. I was off the phone to a trade rep just a few minutes ago. He'd moved companies, gone to one that manufactures locally or from New Zealand, because he didn't want to be with a company that was importing everything. That was the issue. So, he's doing some long-term planning. It seemed quite sensible there. So, with all of that, is anyone surprised? Well, I'm sure some people are, but they probably haven't been paying attention. Just thinking it's all good. Print money and to hell with the consequences. So, warnings as more construction firms to collapse as building costs blow out by $76,000. New figures have revealed that the cost of building a home has jumped by a whopping $76,000, which means more construction firms will hit the wall. And this is because there's no capacity for price escalation in many of these contracts. The cost of building a house has skyrocketed by a record $76,000 in April, as supply chain and labor shortages continue to bite, with alarm bells sounding that more construction firms will collapse in the coming months amid soaring prices, making fixed price contracts unprofitable. So let's theory craft a bit here. We've got a housing sector which has been overheated by government stimulus. Okay, that's accepted. Now we're going to start seeing more and more calls for immigration, because our university sector, our tourism sector, and there'll be skills shortages, and of course that'll put increased demand on our housing stock. We already have rental crises, where rents are just going up higher and higher and people are ending up homeless. We need more houses in many parts of the country. I'd say the biggest one to blame about that is the local councils and the not in my backyard crowd. But all of these things come together. People hoping for a significant house price correction. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think there'll be demand that will not be met by supply, so there'll be increased pressure on that sector. So we may have a support level that's not as low as people are hoping. So, and remember with our government, they'll change the rules, guys. They will change the rules as they need to for political purposes. We've seen that. So it comes as the number of construction companies going under this year has accelerated, with predictions the huge jumps in prices will not ease and are set to continue into the next financial year. I've been told 12 months by some people. The 76 grand increase in building also means, for the first time, the national average value of new homes approved has jumped over the 400,000 mark, at a time when house and land packages were seen as an affordable entry point for first home buyers and families. Economist Marie Kilroy said the huge backlog of work and global commodity price increases will continue to hit the industry. Pressures being faced by home builders is not set to abate in this environment, and we expect more builders will hit the wall, especially less capitalized small to medium-sized operators, she told the Fin. Small to medium mum and dad businesses. It's always going to be the small businesses that cop it, isn't it? It always is. It always is. The construction sector has been hit by a wave of construction firm collapses this year, shaking confidence in the sector. Well, I'm surprised there is much confidence in the sector, in the multi-res sector. In February, building giant ProBuild sent shockwaves through the industry when it went into liquidation, followed by Gold Coast-based firm Condev. Australia's largest home builder, Metricon, was recently thrown a $30 million lifeline to keep the struggling business afloat. Well, that was their own shareholders chucking more money in. What was more, I mean, fine, let them do it. That's no problem. If it'd be stupid not to. But the government offering it, the New South Wales Premier was going to bail them out. We don't want that. You don't want the government stepping in, do you? Well, it appears with the way Australians are voting, yes, they do. They want the government to step in into the point where they even own 40% of your houses. Okay, that's where we're heading now, guys. The sensible minority. Although, anyway. Smaller operators have also fallen, including Hontondo Homes Hobart, Home Innovation Builders, and Sydney-based Next, while staff at Queensland Builders Pivotal Homes were all terminated on the spot last week. Over the weekend, Queensland construction firm Solido Builders also revealed it had sadly appointed liquidators. Now, this is an example of, I'd say, a smaller business that could see the writing on the wall. This is the, you know what, why bother, I'll go fishing. Or why bother, I'll just stay home playing computer games. You know, why work to make a loss? Experts have agreed that the construction industry's horror run means it's most at risk of more insolvencies. Russ Stevens, co-founder of the Association of Professional Builders, has estimated around 50% of Australian building companies are currently trading insolvent, which means they can't pay their bills. That's what scared me the most about this, guys, about the trading, keeping zombie companies alive. Okay, this is, you were allowed a few years ago to trade while insolvent. Okay? They changed the rules to allow it. Now they're warning that people are trading insolvent still, even though the rules have changed. Now, this frustrates me because I'm a small business owner and I've had people stiff me on invoices. I've been lucky. I've only had 2. That's it. 2. The other ones I've managed to just chase. I'm a bit more picky now with our clients. And it's frustrating. And for me, I mean, the time, my cost is my rental of the software I use, the equipment, and those type of costs, and staff and labor. What's worse is if you're a builder and you're building things into buildings and you don't get paid because someone's trading insolvent, they don't have the money to pay you, or the all paid when paid bullshit. Oh, boy. National Australia Bank Chief Executive Ross McEwen has said construction was the most worrying sector for the bank's loan book. ANZ Chief Shane Elliott has described the construction industry as a fragile sector, adding that businesses were struggling to pass on higher costs, were also more at risk of failure in a downturn. The business model has moved towards a fixed price contract model where you can't blame it. People want certainty. They want certainty of what they're going to pay. That's what it is. I mean, try being an architect and try and giving a percentage-based fee for service anymore. The problem with that is you end up with cost shocks or labour shortages. The business can't pass it on, he told an Australian Israel Chamber of Commerce lunch. See, well, here's an example. Architects were used to charge a percentage-based fee, 5%, 10%, 3%, 1% of the construction costs. And I remember there was one architect who had worked for the government with a percentage-based fee. And what had happened is they'd estimated the construction cost of the project, but the tender had come in a lot cheaper than they thought, so they had to pay money back to the client. So it can go both ways, there you go. So I felt sorry for them. They're losing money. They had to pay money back. So you're in this weird situation, which is sort of counterintuitive. Construction is booming and construction companies are falling over. Yeah, because they overheated the market. They've overheated the market. Once again, the government is intervening to buy votes. Well, no, not even to buy votes, simply to keep the economy going. That's what it was. They don't. See, this is the thing. Our political leaders don't give a shit about any of us or our businesses. They don't care in the grand scheme of things. They just want to keep everything moving. That's what happened. It comes as the ABS showed dwelling approvals were down from 2021 levels with a 32.4% decline. Yeah, that's because it was overly, insanely high. From March to April, new dwellings fell by 2.4% to 14,908, outstripping economists' expectations of just a 1% dip. Yeah, the market's cooling. JP Morgan economist Jack Stinson predicted building approvals will continue to plummet as interest rates rise and house prices fall. The end of the federal government's home builder grant, combined with significantly rising costs in the construction sector, will continue to cause a steady decline in building approvals throughout 2022, added Credit Watch's chief economist, Anetka Thompson. Most builders and subcontractors are at workload capacity, and poor weather in New South Wales and Queensland, exacerbated by the late delivery of building supplies across the country, has delayed many existing projects, reducing the capacity for future approvals, she said. Rising interest rates will also have a knock-on effect for demand for new homes, although this could help cost and capacity pressures plaguing the industry, Ms. Thompson added. Although other experts have argued a lack of building pipeline could financially cripple companies. It may also help reverse the growing number of construction companies unable to meet payment deadlines. Creditor Watch data has shown the sector is a repeat offender when it comes to late payment times, she said. Yeah, well, it's just expected now in construction to get paid late. That's one of the reasons why I've scaled back my business. We do work for builders, and you get paid on larger builders pay you on their time frames, which is frustrating when you've got a whole lot of staff. So, its data has shown 12% of construction companies average more than 60 days in payment arrears, which has seen contractors focusing more on government contracts where their paychecks are certain, also impacting the availability of builders to complete work. So there we go, everyone. More builders are going to go bust. Let's have a talk about this one. As I said, there's going to be some interesting flow-on effects to this, potentially, in the medium to long term, with increased demand for housing and less builders capable to deliver them. That may have an impact on the housing sector. But we've also got the flow-on effect to all the subbies that are working for these builders that are going to get in trouble. This is what happens when you mess up the market, everyone. This is the price that we're paying for the government intervention. Now, the question is, will people realize that? Will they learn? Will they appreciate that what's causing this damage? You tell me, because I'm getting too cynical now. I don't think they ever will. I think they'll just vote for more and more intervention. Oh, well. It's going to be an interesting few years, everyone. Take care of yourself. Don't go too far into debt, and spread your income sources. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I find and put together here, there are a few ways you can help out. You can join us or support us financially on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband, or contact us if you need any architectural help. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next episode of HeiseSays. 2022 is finishing up interesting this financial year. Why does that video stop playing? Well-run operation here. Got to call the subby.